cam.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's where it's supposed to go.
Hey, I got a thing. Oh, yeah? Well, that's interesting.
Welcome back to the Nerdery. I'm JD, and we're a mess.
Yeah, Patty.
And I'm Jimmy.
Tonight we are talking about black and white movies and do they have a place in modern cinema. And to commemorate such a topic, we're watching To Kill a Mockingbird in the background.
I'm going to tell you, JD, I've never watched To Kill a Mockingbird.
I love it.
It's a great story, it's a great book, great movie. Gregory Peck is awesome.
What the hell's going on? Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, I was getting my shit together.
Before anybody out there gives me like oh my god, you haven't seen this movie? Look, it's just one of those things I never got around to.
See, I had to read it for school, and then we watched it, so I really had no choice in the matter. But it was really good.
Yeah, and the movie is very, very close to the story.
Yeah.
This is kind of even though it has a lot of acclaim, it covers some really controversial
Yes, it does.
issues.
Especially at the time, because it's older.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't say that, but
Yeah. To Kill a Mockingbird is in black and white.
yeah. There's no mockingbirds, I don't recall.
No.
No, not a single fucking one.
Nope.
Then clearly the title is a metaphor.
It is,
a
Jimmy.
Lie. Just a lie. Sorry, my voice is all screwed up.
Patty was just pissed off because she only watched it hoping she was going to see somebody actually kill a mockingbird, and it didn't happen.
Right? Like a how-to. All right, step 1. Identify mockingbird.
Step 2. Get a rock.
Yeah, see?
Not a,
You're
big
gonna
one.
kill-
Not a big one. You need range.
No, you try to get a big one so that way you can get 2 with 1 stone.
Ah, I see what you did there. Oh my
No,
god.
if you're good, you take a pebble and you bounce it off one
That was
and
bad.
kill the other as well. Snap their necks. Just hit them right there. Just
Jim, that was her name.
Yes.
I was trying to think of it. I knew it was short and weird.
Like Ben Bailey talking about all the different phrases. 2 birds with 1 stone. It doesn't say how many times you get to use the 1 stone.
True.
Are you the guy that killed 9 ostriches with 8 stones? That I am. That had to have been expensive. No. I'm not going overseas to kill an ostrich. There are perfectly good ostriches in the Bronx.
Oh, put that out. Hi, Kendall.
you gotta go to the zoo.
The zoo.
They're enclosed. It'll be easy.
Yeah.
Right. Like fish in a barrel.
I mean, you don't have to worry about whether or not they're
You know
excited.
how
They
easy it
ain't
would
gonna
be to
fly
block
away.
off exits to the zoo to catch the guy before he gets there?
There's a guy killing ostriches.
This motherfucker keeps coming
What's
back
the
every
exit
day,
plan?
kills an ostrich a day. It's terrible.
Because you kill one, the other one runs away.
How does that pertain to black and white movies?
And it doesn't at all.
No. Okay,
There's
so
your Mockingbird. Okay.
do we like black and white movies first?
I love black.
Okay, then we
black and
all
white
love
movies.
them all.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's good. That was, I think, what we needed to cover first. That we all enjoy them.
You
and
would have
like
enjoyed
them.
last week. It was we watched Mad Max Fury Road in black and white, and it was spectacular.
That's what got
Yeah.
me thinking on it. Is
It's in black and white?
there,
Yeah,
there's
it's
Isn't
a
it
some
new?
black
version.
and chrome version.
Oh,
Black
okay.
and chrome. And it really
Which
brought
is a
out
cute
the
name
acting.
for it.
Sounds like a rap song.
Oh, Jose's with us.
Howdy, Jose.
How was our snow day? It was just like any other day, just with more chrome.
There was like 15 minutes of, oh, this is really pretty, and then it was work, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
It actually started at like 11:45. That's when heavy sleep was coming down.
I was furious when I woke up.
I moved down here to get away from the snow.
Exactly. I did not move down here to fucking clean off snow off my car.
It's all amazing in everything.
But you have
it's
to do it like once every 8 years here, so
Yeah.
don't worry.
To a
It's gonna be
Houstonian-
okay.
to a Houstonian, snow is like the most amazing, awesome, wonderful thing. And then you've got all these people who've moved down here
Yeah.
from up north
We're
who've
just
seen
like,
it
I
all their
hate
lives,
you.
and they're like, "Oh my god,
But
if
Patty,
only
you gotta let us
fucking
have
knew."
our 1 in 8 years because there's like a milestone of it. Like it
You
was
can't do
kindergarten
shit
for me.
because
The
everything's
last one was in
closed.
09.
It's bullshit.
last one
You
was
just gotta
09,
stay in
which
your
means-
house and fucking deal with it.
So this was Harmony's first snow, our youngest, because it's the first time it's snowed since she's been alive. So then there's like a milestone marker for us, and then it'd be like 8 more years. You can
That-
let us have that one.
That was like Harvey this
It
year.
was trash.
That was pretty much how that was. If you were stuck somewhere, you're stuck there. You ain't going nowhere. Why? Because there's too much fucking water and you don't feel
Yeah.
like swimming.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, our oldest, the first thing she asked, "Are they going to close the schools?" No.
The roads were clear.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think HISD actually had a post on their Twitter or whatever, and said something along the lines of "school closures for HISD." Just kidding. School starts at 7:30.
That's awesome.
I knew they weren't going to close the schools. I didn't have to look. Why? Because they'd already closed for
Yeah.
over a week.
But what you do have to watch whenever there is snow is you have to watch other drivers. Not because
Yes.
there's ice on the road, because there wasn't on anywhere but bridges maybe, but yeah,
Yeah.
they do that.
And people are just taking pictures and
And
videos
everybody's
of it.
posting their video and pictures
Stupid.
to social media that they got from their car while they were supposed to be driving. So you do have to watch out for that when it's snowing.
You know, when it does snow, if it ever snowed down here like it does up north, it would be great.
Oh, yeah.
It would be
The
wonderful.
entire state would shut down.
Yes.
Yeah, it would. It
You
would,
guys don't have the stuff to take care of it.
No.
That's the problem.
but I'm saying it would be great as far as like the roadway situation. Nobody would get killed. There'd be no traffic jams. Nobody would be fucking disappointed because they didn't get to where they needed to go. They're already there.
There'd be them 4-wheeled trucks out there
No.
screwing off.
Yeah, but let them screw off. It's their fucking property. They're the only ones that are gonna fucking destroy it. Yeah.
Yeah, last time it snowed here, I was an assistant manager at a service place. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
And like I think we had been there for over 3 hours, and I think we had put air in somebody's tire, and that was it. And I called my manager and told him, "Look, I'm thinking about closing the store." He said, "Well, you got to ask so and so, the district manager." So I called the district manager and I told him I'm closing the store. Well, no, you got to stay open. No, I'm not asking. I'm telling.
Yeah.
We're wasting money here. Nobody's coming today. There's snow. Done.
Damn.
All right, well, call me. Let me know. Yeah. I'll call you when I get home.
It was pissing me off seeing the cars drive down the road with the snow all over them still, and only the windshield wiper area cleared. And I'm like,
How do you have any peripheral?
you guys are idiots. You don't know how to do anything.
You gotta
I'm
sit
out
there,
there.
and let it warm up, man.
Yeah, and then even more, I had my Swiffer. I put some micro cloth around that, and it was the perfect length to get on top of the car and all the windows. And I'm a northerner. I know how to handle the shit.
I just get in the car and turn the heat on, wait for a minute, and then roll down the windows a little bit, and then all that snow will crush down, and roll them back up, and you're good to go.
The only problem it wasn't a ton this time and all, but like on the roof and stuff, that shit'll fly off to the cars in back of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an actual law in New York State. You have to clean off your car now.
Oh, wow.
And if you get caught with like
Yeah.
snow on top of your car, you get a ticket
Yeah.
because it's a road hazard.
Wow.
Now
yeah, I
you
didn't
know.
clean that off.
You were one of those.
Yes. I was the guy who opened the sunroof to vent
Oh my god.
on the Beltway because I couldn't see through the sunroof. I just popped this dude open.
Oh my god.
Why would you need to see through the sunroof?
Just wanted it
stare at
cleaned
the
up?
pretty sky while he was driving.
Oh,
Yes.
it's a lovely night. I'm going 80. That's cool.
Loud pipe saved lives, people.
I didn't clean mine off, but it was like less
It's
than
still,
an
you
inch.
shouldn't be going
And I let
80.
it warm up a while, and
Yeah.
it actually melted off.
Oh, man.
I wore that snow like a bit of pride. I had a friend who posted a picture of her kids out in the snow, and I sent her an angry face. She's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "It's snow. I don't care that
Get
your kids
over
are
it."
cute. No, fuck that. I'm angry.
It's my 3,000th day of work. I don't care about your first day of school.
Wow. So black and white movies, folks.
Yes, black and white movies. Yeah. Fury Road is a perfect example that black and white does, to me, does still have a place in modern cinema.
I think it gives a different feel,
I would say
a different energy.
I would say them releasing that version of it was another way to see it. It was almost like watching another movie for me.
Yeah.
Because you can watch the normal version and you see the spectacle of it, the destruction, the mayhem. You see everything that's going on, and that's what you're focused on. When you mute all the color and all the bright shininess of it, and you dull it down to the point where the actors shine through. I think that's where black and white cinema was like the best, because they had to sell the performance.
Yeah.
You were still seeing the visual, but everything was muted.
So it's not as bright and shiny and distracting. And
You're not focusing on everything in the background. You can make a multi-million-dollar movie that has all the effects that you can throw into it, practical, CGI, whatever, and have a complete and total shit story.
Yeah.
You can, like Gone in 60 Seconds, the Nicolas Cage film, is a marvelous, marvelous spectacle. It is a display of automotive pride in this country and the world abroad. You see all these wonderful vehicles, but it is a total shitbag story.
Agreed.
I mean, it is nothing but moments of interaction between the characters. That's all it is. There's no underlying
a bunch
story.
of driving around fast.
Because but if you watch the original, it's even there is no story really. It is these people doing a heist, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're just along for the fucking ride. So I think in that sense it was legit, because it gave you more than what the first did, and still stuck with the basic recipe.
Yeah.
It was, God, I wish I had seen this movie before you put it on.
Sorry.
Like, I want to watch
It's alright,
it.
you don't know what's going on anyways.
Well, it's like the first Superman film, Superman and the Mole Men, black and white.
Good old George Reeves.
And it still holds true today. Everything in that movie. Why? Because they had to focus more on story, like you said, Jimmy. That you had to have a very, very driven story, and your performances had to be better because you don't have all that color distracting you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and going even further back to silent film, they're all going to be in black and white except for that one, the space one, which I don't even think it really has a story.
What was it? The
Trip to the Moon or something like that.
yeah, the old 1920s.
Yeah. Which
So-
all those were hand colored, which
Yeah.
is just unbelievable. That's why they sometimes look like a colored mess.
It seems like black and white photography has held up stronger through the times than film has, though.
Yeah.
I did that one time. I went to when I went up to Alaska. I had to go catch a boat in Seattle, and it was a nice June, July, sunny day, and we got to go kind of run around the city. We went down to the fish market, and I actually went and found some black and white disposables.
Yeah.
So I
That's
went,
cool.
did that, and black and white film, you see so much more of the detail, and sometimes it can express emotion.
Yeah. Like I said, it gives it a different energy.
Yeah.
Says, what about forced black and white like Kill Bill? It was done very well.
Yeah, they did the sequences.
I still haven't seen Kill Bill.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't remember much of it, but it made me think of Sin City.
Yeah.
That was mostly black and white
Well,
with splashes of color.
you'd have to. I mean, you really have to read Frank Miller on that one. At least the stories from the first movie. Those are like the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I think was kind of
The point of the first film.
yeah. But it was they didn't know they were going to be able to make the second.
Yeah.
And it
I
took
enjoyed
forever.
the second one, though, honestly.
Really?
Yes. I
Good.
did.
Good. No,
I enjoyed it. It
Frank
made me
hates
go,
it.
what the fuck? A lot. But I still enjoyed it on its own.
Well, I would say because you have. Oh man, I lost my. Oh, who directed it?
I don't remember.
Frank Miller, he's fucking native Texan. We're talking about Kill Bill, which was. I'm having one of those moments, folks. Do you remember those actors, those directors, creators, film?
I always get Rodriguez and Tarantino mixed up.
And there you go, Rodriguez and Tarantino.
I was assuming it was probably one of those that you were trying to think of.
Yes, thank you.
I always get their movies mixed up because usually Tarantino's in Rodriguez films, and I just, yeah.
Jose said, "What about forced black and white?" Like,
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
read
Sorry.
that.
I was doing something else and I was trying to catch up on the comments. My bad.
Slacker.
You'll have to forgive us. This was a difficult weekend. We had to put up with children.
In general.
Yeah, and JD and Tanya more so than anybody else. So.
But yeah, Jimmy, you said it was that we had to wait a long time between the first and the second one. Yeah, we had to wait 9 years.
Yep.
Shit.
Yep. But, I think Frank Miller, because he was so heavily involved in the first one, I think he believed, okay, this is the outing I'm going to get, and this is as far as it's going to go. Mm-hmm. So let's tell the best stories. Him and Rodriguez got together and basically decided they're going to tell those stories. What's going on?
Jose says, "Damn it, background boys, get it together."
Talk about you, Tanya.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I already explained it. Come on.
Okay.
They had a rough time this weekend. Anyway, I think they got together and told the best stories from that series.
Yeah.
And what was left, I thought 2 was weaker, but it was just because of the stories.
Yeah.
Those were filler stories that Frank Miller was like, well, crap.
And
I
it
didn't know
didn't
you were going to
flow.
make another one.
Yeah.
So I picked the best ones in the first.
Which is probably why it got picked up for the second.
Yeah. It did save the second, but I think if they had kind of peppered the first 3 stories into the other ones,
Yeah.
it would have been good. But it was cool to see Marv again.
Yes.
Pre him being put to death, and that was really awesome. But Rodriguez, I think, did what Frank Miller did with the strips. You got a lot of action in the frame because of the artwork.
Yeah.
He knew how to kind of personify what was going on in the scene by drawing things the way he did. And I think Rodriguez was the best director to illustrate that.
Yeah.
On the film. On film.
Part of Bulletproof was...
Bulletproof or Deathproof?
Deathproof, sorry. Yeah,
okay.
Deathproof. Part of that was black and white, I remember. Because it goes through and it's black and white, and then all of a sudden it'll pop and color bleeds in.
It starts out black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bulletproof is a much older film. That was from the 90s.
Philip owns that one. I can't even say I've ever seen it.
I was so
disappointed.
I was so disappointed with that film in the sense that it was not disappointed at the film, but the way it was released on video. Because initially it was released as a separate outing for both, and I loved actually going to the theater and watching
the double
entirety.
feature.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
What was crazy is after the first film, half the cinema got up and left. They're like, whoa, where are you going? There's more, and people just left.
But wait, there's more.
They didn't come back. It wasn't like they went to concessions and they were like, all right, we're done. And I'm like, no, Tarantino's is next. We got to see this shit. And it's Tarantino doing something that he never really did before, which was an on-the-road action movie.
Yeah.
Like, you were doing camera work with vehicles.
Yeah.
You never really did that too much in his previous films.
Yeah.
You see hints of it in Kill Bill. Like, there's some sequences where there's work done with motorcycles and stuff like that, where you see intros and they're being followed along, and he experiments. I think that's what makes a good director.
Yeah.
Tarantino might be a little crazy, but he's a good director.
It seems like the people that are putting out the more black and white movies, or even having chunks of black and white in the movies, are more like the fringe people, not mainstream. And I think more people need to try it out.
I think what we're also getting a lot of is a lot of muted color on screen. Not necessarily black and white, but take Dread, for instance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of muted colors in there. The reason why is so that when they do bring those bright colors in, it really grabs your
It's the
attention.
impact of it.
And I think that's another brilliant way to go about it.
I was watching that with a friend of mine, and he said, "Dude, I want slow-mo." I'm like, "Do you really? Do you really?"
I think it seemed terrible. I'm like, I do not ever want that shit.
Imagine if you got hungry on it.
No.
Dude.
Food would never get to your mouth.
It would take forever. Like,
God, when you're really drunk, it takes long enough to get food to your mouth.
oh god damn it! I
Just
can't make
smash my face in the plate.
I can't make pizza rolls. Not like I can't make pizza rolls right now. That's gonna like take days. We gotta go simple here. Sandwich might take a couple of hours. Fuck.
That's why everybody goes for fast food.
And you know what's funny? While you're
Just
going
eat
through
mustard out of the bottle, just
while you're going through that thought process, by the time you reach the point of just like fuck it, I'm sitting here. You're no longer high.
yeah.
Oh my god. So, can you think of any movies that you think would have been better black and white that came out within the past 20 years?
That's an interesting thought.
You know, Dark City is another movie that's very muted, but I think it would have been a lot better in black and white and with a bigger budget. Because that was a great story, and I think it was a crying shame what they did to it. But yeah,
I liked it.
I like what made it to the screen. I think it was.
I liked some of it black and white.
Yeah.
I preferred it that way.
I kind of feel like some movies that take place back when TVs were black and white might be good. Like period pieces.
Pleasantville,
Yeah.
Yeah.
large majority of
That's
that
pretty
film's
cool.
in black and white.
Yeah.
I feel like that would kind of give it that little bit of more atmosphere, you know?
Yeah.
Well, going back to Dark City, I think the color was relevant. There was
Yeah.
a lot of relevance to it, as opposed to
The bright orange of the goldfish.
Not to say
Yeah.
that it couldn't survive as a black and white film, but
It was important, maybe.
the color was used as almost a character in the film.
Yeah.
You know, it was in the sets, it was in the design of things, and yes, it could stand alone without it, but it adds so much more richness to it.
I honestly, I think if that film
It was where color helped
yeah.
instead of distracted.
I think if that film had been done in black and white, I think it looked like an art film.
Yeah, and that may have squashed its cult following or survivability in that sense. Because
Possibly.
it wouldn't have made it to as many theaters.
Yeah.
People look at it a black and white film, really?
When I think black and white, I think film noir detective stuff. So maybe Detective Pikachu played by Danny DeVito instead of Deadpool would be great.
Wow.
What the hell?
Wow. That was very specific.
Very.
Shit.
I feel like Deadpool needs to cameo in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Deadpool shows up at Howard the Duck's detective office, which is next door to the She-Hulk's attorney office.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he's dressed up in some fucked up Wolverine costume because the man just died, and Deadpool's kind of like on a memoriam to
That's his
Wolverine
way
tour.
of coping.
Yeah, and he gets like the shit beat out of him by She-Hulk and all kinds of crazy stuff.
He enjoyed it though.
Yeah, he did. He totally did.
I was
dying when I saw I actually watched the little teaser trailer thing for the new Deadpool.
Bob Ross.
Oh my
I think
god.
you'd love it.
Oh my god.
just backing off a little bit.
Yeah.
Just whack that off till it's good and dry.
That was amazing. Because I love Bob Ross.
I've never met anyone that didn't love Bob Ross.
No, and if they do not, then
Maybe they don't
you
know
should
who he
not be
is.
friends with them.
Maybe people don't know who he is anymore. Like the younger generation isn't.
Oh.
They
Well,
don't
Deadpool's bringing it back, folks.
Yeah, no joke. Could you imagine not getting that reference? Like watching that
know.
new
Can you
But it-
imagine not having
but it
not
rings
spent
true.
hours watching it?
It rings true with the audience they're trying to reach,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's why it's done. That's marketing,
Yeah.
and I love that Ryan Reynolds is willing to get in the suit to do that shit. I think it's great.
He's one of my favorites. What?
The Pacific, the miniseries, is kind of a follow-up to Band of Brothers. They used a lot more color in the Pacific than they did in Band of Brothers, and I kind of wish it had been muted again.
Yeah.
To give it that aged look, because it kind of tricks your mind into thinking, you know, the color is faded because it's so old.
Well, the Pacific, it was personifying a different front.
Exactly.
Jose says, I feel like the gangster movies should be black and white. Blood and Blood out.
Blood in, blood out.
Yeah. Good Feathers.
Good Feathers or Good Fellas?
Fellas.
Okay.
And Casino.
Casino. I saw Casino once. It's a great film. That guy and those other
You
guys.
should not leave me in charge of reading these things. I'm having a hard time even speaking.
I can read them. If you don't read them, I will.
Well,
just gonna
you're
grunt at
falling
you
off.
point.
You're falling off again, Tanya.
No, because I saw it right before she read it, but I was waiting for a minute, and then she took the end.
Oh.
I did. I stole it. Swoosh.
You got a
Swooped right
signal.
in there.
You'll be like,
I'm just gonna start flipping her off and pointing at my phone. And
put your ball cap on.
yes. I could see
Brown
gangster
hit the
movies
nose.
being black and white. Some of them.
Yeah. A lot of your war movies could be black and white,
Yeah.
and they'd survive. I know this one is kind of like half a war movie and half a romance, which that's a weird way for Hollywood to deal with it. But Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
I think it would have survived just fine in black and white.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it will.
But no, you got World War II action in full vibrant color.
Seemed like they went from black and white to like a little bit more color to a little bit more color and like tweaking how good the coloring is in film. And now that maybe they'll start going back.
That's what I'm hoping.
Because you know what I mean? You kind of peaked there at some point. I mean, there is no higher color than...
Yeah, now they're just
You
focusing
know.
on definition.
Yeah. And we already have like super fucking
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to the point where movies are in higher quality than reality.
Yeah.
And, man, you don't do that. Then you walk out of the theater and like, well, fuck, this sucks.
Right?
Well, one of the worst things I ever saw was like The Hunt for Red October, and it was on a basic TV channel, and I'm watching it on like, for the time, like a 1080p super high def, television, and you can see in the underwater shots the strings holding things up, like when they blow up a sub.
Yeah.
You can see the strings holding it up, and then you see the explosions, and you're like, oh, that just takes all the imagination out of it. I don't
Jose
like it.
brought up a show that you really like, JD, Band of Brothers.
Yes.
You said it's borderline black and white.
Yes, it's very muted, and I love it. I love that because, like I was saying, it dates it,
Yeah.
and it kind of tricks your mind. You are stepping back in time a little bit.
I think the Pacific was done the way it was well, it was done the way it was because they were trying to personify the beauty
Of some of the islands.
in the where the fighting was taking place, and how even a paradise can turn into
Pure hell.
just a horror show, man.
Yeah, and the Pacific gets I'm not going to say it gets grittier than Band of Brothers did, because Band of Brothers got really gritty, but it gets grittier faster. Like, you see some pretty messed up... No, Tanya has not seen any of it.
I don't like war things.
He tried to show me Band of Brothers. I think it was the first episode. I was crying.
Oh.
I couldn't keep going. Like,
No,
I
it
was
wasn't
done.
the first episode.
It was
like
early.
episode... So it was Last Patrol was the name of the episode.
Okay, well, I don't know. It was early on. I couldn't do it anymore, and I don't watch that now.
I dated somebody that watched a lot of those movies, and I was just like,
He's just got to watch them when I'm not there, because I can't handle it.
We Were Soldiers would have been great in
yeah,
black
I saw
and white.
that one.
That one will turn your stomach. But I like, when it comes to war films, I like the ones that are, straight out of the mouths of people that were there. And it's who was there. It's almost a biopic.
I know this is kind of off topic, but I do have to ask about a specific film, and I think we'd probably expand on it in a later show. But what about the opposite? What about a film that was shot in black and white, and in a time where color was available, but it was intentionally done so? Like Dr. Strangelove. Do you think if it was a color
isn't it?
film, would it have had the
No.
effect?
No.
Because
I definitely don't think so. That was a weird one. I think it needed that edge of something
And
for
it-
me.
it was a great film. There's a lot of little stuff about that film as far as like the acting and directing
Yeah.
and story. Like, what was it? I think he had Sellers signed on for 4 roles originally, and he was going to be the bomber, the bomber pilot that Slim Pickens played. And they decided, you're already playing 3 other roles. This is too much. you
Yeah.
know? I don't want you to be too far spread. So, but the other was, it's Slim Pickens. I lost it. Totally lost it. God. Well, but
Patty, are there any horror movies that
Yeah.
you think would be better in or not in black and white? Because the black and white's kind of relevant in some horror,
Yeah.
in the horror community of movies.
I don't really know. I think they're all done pretty well, and I think a lot of times the color is important in horror. Like, it's like in the Evil Dead movies when they use like green or blue or whatever blood instead of red. It kind of took a lot of the edge off. I think it would take a lot of the edge off if they were in black and white. Like, some are okay, but it would have to be like a Hitchcock type of situation where you don't see everything.
yeah,
You know, if you actually can see everything and it's black and white, I don't think it would play out as well.
no.
But I do know that shaky cam movies would be absolutely garbage in black and white.
Are you talking about found footage films?
Yes, I hate those.
Apollo
Already.
18, most of that film is
Really?
in black
We
and
watched
white.
that.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
And
Alright.
it's a found footage film.
Well, I'm talking about the ones that are mostly black anyways. And you see like this much of anything
Oh, yeah.
every 20 minutes. Ugh. Those are bad in color.
Was it
Actually, Jimmy, To Kill a Mockingbird was actually filmed when color cinema was all the rage.
yeah? And it was done this way for a reason.
Yeah.
That's even more of a metaphor for it.
Because
Yeah.
the book wasn't even published until 1960, and in the 50s is when we got a lot of colored cinema. Like, everything was in
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
Now in Technicolor.
Yeah. Which actually, Technicolor was busted up by the federal government. Because they had a monopoly on colored film.
Oh. Seems like they don't crack down on that as much these days.
No. But this isn't a political show.
Nah. But poor Technicolor.
I feel like we should have done this episode in black and white.
Oh, that would have been
With all these
cool.
conversations about it, that would have been cool.
Well,
You could probably go back. Can you go back and change
Oh.
it to where it's black
If
and
you
white?
I think I
Go?
can.
If you go to my review for the Horror Fridays,
Yes.
there's one we did, and I
Yeah.
did, I think, 4 different movies, and they were from every 10 years. It was like from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
That was really cool.
And it was black and white, and every review I did got a little bit more color.
nice.
But the first one was in black and
Well,
white.
I'm not as talented as our last producer.
Yeah.
But we'll see what we can make happen.
But yeah, if you go back and watch that, it was really good.
See if I can't add the little scorches and hairs and stuff.
Aw, the
These-
cigarette burns.
Jose said, didn't Disney own the rights to Technicolor and then it got released?
I don't know if they did. I could probably dig that up real quick.
It would make sense, but could be wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually trying to take on rights to new stuff, unless they thought of Technicolor as not any longer. I don't know.
That would, I think that would definitely roll with Walt Disney's business practice. I think Technicolor was probably theirs, and they were like, hey, you know.
Black and white cartoons are really interesting.
Yep.
Yes.
They're kind of weird.
Well, you're relying, like you said earlier, you know, you're relying more on story
Yeah.
when you're filming in that medium.
But with cartoons, you don't get all the facial expressions at that point because their animation wasn't quite as
Yeah.
forward as it is now.
Yeah.
You know, you lost a lot.
Well, it was very basic.
Yeah. I mean, the cartoons weren't exactly deep or
No.
complicated.
It was meant to entertain. A lot of those early on were used as like intermission for movies or, you know.
Distracting small children.
Yeah.
Jose says hashtag Betty Boop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember seeing some Mickeys that were definitely black and white.
Oh, yeah. The original.
No, Jose, Disney never owned Technicolor. However, all of their colored film was contracted exclusively through Technicolor.
There you go.
There you go.
So,
So, yeah.
yeah. But I one of the coolest things to me about Technicolor television and Technicolor film is people didn't wear just what you think they wore. Mm-hmm. Like they had to use all sorts of different browns and tans and stuff
Yeah,
to get the
different
right
shades.
Exactly, the different shades of gray to come out.
I've seen the pictures of, supposedly, I saw it on the internet, so I'm not saying it's 100% true, but the Addams Family living room was actually like pink.
Yeah.
Like, because it had to be the right shades to get it to translate properly onto the screen.
And George Reeves' Superman suit was brown and gray. Brown, tan, and gray. So that way you could get the different shades of gray to emulate, the yellow, blue, and red.
And different colors always translated into different shades of gray, so...
Mm-hmm.
What's cool is I saw I actually picked up a Call of Cthulhu. I guess it was almost it was a high-funded fan film. And these people did it in black and white. They did it like a silent era film. So you see the behind the scenes, and there's actually makeup you're wearing so your face picks up, and they're showing them in the makeup how the sets look and everything
that's
like that.
cool.
They went with that method, like it was just legit shot in black and white.
Seems like that would take a lot more talent.
Yeah, I mean it was a very short film, like maybe 30 minutes at most, but it was really cool to see, and you know they pretty much tell a story about Cthulhu, and
Yeah.
twisted mind of that's great.
Yeah.
I'm terrible tonight because I can't remember anybody's name. I should have mentioned.
Lovecraft?
Yep, Lovecraft. There
There
you
you
go.
go. I got your back tonight. I'm actually remembering stuff.
Good. I'm glad you're here, Patty. Thank you.
I'm sick and all, but I'm here and I'm contributing.
Just gonna shut up.
No.
But yeah, y'all really got me thinking now. What all films would have survived intact, if not better, in black and white? And I'm really having a hard time with it.
Things like Blade Runner definitely needed that color.
The Abyss, I think it would have done okay in black and white.
No.
No?
No. I
Why is
mean, I don't know.
Because no.
I don't know. Because there's too much of the deep that needs to be illustrated in color. And once you get to a certain point, if you don't have that color, it's very. I don't know, man. You have to watch that in black and white sometime. Put a filter or change the
Settings?
of the TV. Yeah.
Because I have it. I have the special edition 3-hour version of it.
We can do black and white movie versions of the show and just talk about the movies. What do you think?
I'm down
Something
for
we
that.
can do?
I'm down for that.
Well, we don't have to do it all the time, but we can do that.
We need to film some backup episodes anyway.
Yeah.
So there's that. What are you doing?
Having vape issues.
Uh-oh.
You're having issues. That sucks.
I think Apollo 13 would have done great.
Apollo 13?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have done that. I'll have to try it.
I don't have that one.
Oh, you don't have that one?
No, I have Apollo 18, not 13. I don't have Apollo 11 either.
No.
That one did have a black and white version, but it was a very small budget, like not even a B film.
Oh.
And if you know your history, it's
Yeah.
it's not all that intriguing because, well, you already know what happens.
That's why I didn't watch Titanic. I knew it was going to happen.
But
I'm not
people-
wasting 3 hours
People would gladly
to see her titties in the
people
boat to
gladly paid the money to go see that movie multiple
over and over
times.
and over.
Oh, yeah.
I knew people that would say that. See, everybody
Me
here.
too,
You knew
no.
people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I saw it in the theater once, but I've watched it more than once. I've watched it over the years.
I'll tell you right now, I've never seen that movie all the way through.
I liked
Because it's
it.
4 hours.
And the boat sinks.
It's 2 hours love story, 2 hours of a boat sinking.
Yeah, no, I'm over it.
I liked it.
it's
I haven't even
making-
seen it, and I'm over it.
I thought it was terrible because it was making money off of a tragedy.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah. I
it's
mean, when you look at
illustrating
it that way, yeah, that's sad.
But that's pretty much every movie I
But yeah,
watch.
you can say that about any movie about any event that's ever happened, technically.
And you could look at the horribleness of it and say, a couple of thousand years ago, people wrote stories because it was, a way to say, hey, either this happened or tell you something. What's up?
I love the way Jose thinks.
Go
What do you
ahead.
say? What do you
He
say?
said, I would love black and white life moments. Like when I drop my taco, everything is just plain and some sad piano song plays in the background with a deep voice narration.
You mean it doesn't?
Morgan Freeman?
That's
That's
what
just
I
me?
see. Yeah, it happens on the inside. He wants it to be external as well for
Oh,
everyone
okay.
surrounding you.
For their enjoyment. The whole room just goes black and white.
Yeah. And everyone pauses and watches. Like,
As your
wow,
taco falls.
It falls.
It's kind of like GTA.
Yeah, that's what I was
Die.
about to say.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. Yeah, if you want to see that, just go watch some YouTube videos. Deaths.
Wasted
Yeah.
compilations.
Yeah, wasted compilation.
And people do that with like fail videos too.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll fade it to black and white and
Wow.
pop up the wasted.
Yeah.
Every time I stick my paintbrush into my coffee cup, which I totally did today, I just dipped the brushes in my coffee cup. I went, ew. Wrong cup.
Not drinking
On
that.
so many levels. Oh my god.
I still drink it. Just throwing that out
I
there.
sympathize with you on that because I've been under a car doing an oil change, eating a chicken leg, and had oil like splash out of the drain onto my chicken leg. Like, motherfuck.
I would smoke cigarettes after I got oil on the cigarette and
See?
the grease and shit.
All right,
I'm
yours-
kind of like yeah.
Yours is a pass, except you shouldn't be under a car or around a car smoking
Smoking.
a cigarette. Yours, what the fuck, man? I've heard of a working lunch, but that's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, you're under a car with a chicken leg? What the fuck? You gotta have both hands free. What the fuck? You got a chicken
Apparently
leg?
not.
What if something like breaks or falls on you or whatever?
Then he'll die happy with his chicken.
I'm down holding that chicken
You're
leg.
sitting there just like, oh shit.
Everybody will know what was important. Fucking chicken leg.
Yeah, Jose wants to know who eats chicken while under a car. It's a great idea.
This guy right here.
Did you watch last week's episode? Go back and watch the first 15 minutes.
Cold
Oh, yeah?
can of spaghetti.
You'll eat a cold can of
Oh,
SpaghettiOs on a YouTube channel. No less.
Gross.
Sorry to give it away.
So
If that was supposed to be a mystery.
Hey, it's there.
Yeah.
I've been needing to go back and take it out. I just keep forgetting.
No, leave it there. It's great.
It's like a surprise. Like, I haven't watched this in
We'll
a while.
start at the
Click.
beginning. What the fuck is going on here?
That's a little bit longer than usual.
Yeah, I dig it.
It's 10 minutes of me eating a can of SpaghettiOs.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Jose said that he could watch this for
Yes.
a whole hour.
Yeah, so he already knew.
Yeah, he said this could be the whole show and I'd be happy. I think half of
we
it's a
gotta
song.
get that one into black and white or some kind of like
Oh,
vintage
fuck
look,
yeah.
the brownish colors.
Sepia.
Yes.
I know all the words tonight.
Check you out.
Oh, me. for
Banging on all
once.
cylinders.
I know, and that's Gregory Peck. Look at me knowing shit tonight. I had to throw that out because I did know that. And if I didn't say it, you guys wouldn't know that I knew that. And that was really exciting. I hope they heard that.
Oh, she
My
totally
mic's
did.
not on. Oh my
Totally
god.
did. Yeah.
She's mad now. Haven't been able to get you to do it on air for a while. So.
Yeah, it's like once in a great while now.
What about comedies? Can y'all think of any modern comedies that would hold up under black and white?
I prefer prefer my comedies in color.
Yeah. Unless it's like an old school one that was in black and white and meant to be in black and white.
No
like
Time for Sergeants.
Well, I would say this:
Three Stooges type shit.
You compare Three Stooges to stuff like the Marx Brothers, and the Marx Brothers was good. It was great, but it wasn't the comedy that Three Stooges was. And that brand of comedy, the physical, acting out the comical situation, by people
Laurel
getting
and Hardy
knocked in the
type
head.
shit,
Yeah. That is what made the comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
slapstick.
It was slapstick as hell. In color, it would probably still survive, but not as well as in black and white because you're focused on it. You're not looking at the scenery. You're not looking at them.
Wasn't there Three Stooges in color? Like
Yeah.
The last few shorts were in color, and
Well, there was a movie they put out.
Yeah, I
with,
remember the movie, and
was
I
it
liked the movie.
Will Sasso played
Yes.
Curly.
yes,
That was actually pretty funny.
yeah. I won't put that movie in expecting to hate it because I am such a huge fan of the originals, and yes, The Completionist has every short they ever released. But no, I really did enjoy it. To me, it was kind of worn off like the Dumb and Dumberer.
Yeah. Mhm.
Three Stooges, that Chaplin guy. You mean
Charlie Chaplin.
So I would say maybe the airplane movies. I feel like they needed color.
No.
I don't know,
No,
'cause
you-
there's lots of prop gags and I don't know.
Yeah, but with black and white,
I feel like
I-
I prefer it in color, but I
Yeah.
think people have different preferences on.
Maybe.
I think Airplane would have been better in black and white. That's a good idea.
I think it would have been the same. I don't think it would have degraded it, but I don't think it would have made it better.
For the time it came out, I think color was kind of an expected.
Yeah.
So
Well, since we're on the Leslie Nielsen stuff, how about Naked Gun?
that might actually add more humor to it. He's a detective.
Yeah.
You make it a noir comedy.
Yeah.
That's going to be even like a noir slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
That's
And O.J. Simpson and his Derringer that he turns into flip an anti-aircraft cannon. I don't remember much of those movies, but that's the part I remember. Just every now and then go back to O.J. Simpson putting on more attachments.
Oh my god.
yeah.
And what about Mr. Magoo? That was another Leslie Nielsen movie.
See, I never watched it.
I was gonna say I don't think I saw that one.
I thought it might.
I've seen
be
the old
reaching.
cartoon.
Was it good?
It's not bad. I wouldn't call it good. It's a movie.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Okay. It was kind of like Mr. Bean with dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay. Little Rowan Atkinson.
And no, black and white wouldn't make Mr. Bean any better.
No. It'd still be the same.
Yeah.
Was that a sketch first?
Mm-hmm.
On something? Okay, I thought it was. I liked the sketches, but I thought the movies were too much.
Yeah, it was a sketch in, like, as a filler in some TV show, and I don't know what, but on the BBC.
Like, sometimes it's like, I think it's my imagination that I remember these things, so I wasn't sure if it was a sketch, but I thought it was.
I feel like I didn't know it was a sketch, but I would have enjoyed it more if it were shorter.
Yeah.
It's a small doses kind of thing.
But the funny part is, it was filmed as silent.
Yeah.
There really wasn't. You don't see any or hear any dialogue, any communication with the people. There's words spoken, really.
Yeah.
It's a lot of implication. So.
Well, I think a lot of the shorts got sound added in post.
Yeah. It's easier to do that when you're only working with so much film.
Yeah.
So, except, if you were in Italy, trying to film something back in like the 60s or 70s, maybe beyond that, but they never did film where they added sound, as they were filming. They did it in post. That was just the way you filmed there.
I got one for you. Coach Carter.
Coach Carter?
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. It's a true story. I think that would have been better in black and white. I think it would have been more impactful.
There you go.
It was another what was it? Son of a bitch, I can't remember the name of the damn movie. But he was a really, really intelligent teacher, and he was sent to teach in a school in a really, really bad part of town.
There's quite a few of those.
Yeah, but this was along the same
There's one with
lines.
Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Who was in it?
I can't remember. But in Coach Carter, it was a true story, and he was sent there to be the basketball coach. And the kids are all into drugs and gangs and all this and all that, and he set an example, or he set a standard, and he held them to that standard.
Are you thinking like Jim Belushi and Louis Gossett Jr.?
No, I'm still talking about Coach Carter at the
I know,
moment.
but you're talking about another movie. Where
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer. She was in one.
Yes, she
Dangerous
was.
Minds.
There you
That's
go.
it. That's it.
Yay! I knew
fucking love that movie.
I knew another
One for the
thing. Aww.
I got one.
All I could think of was
helped.
Gangster's Paradise because that was the
Yeah.
song
Yeah,
for
I was
it.
in it.
Coolio.
It was the big song in the movie.
Yeah.
I think it played multiple times.
But I knew that wasn't the name of the movie. But I knew Michelle
Yeah,
Pfeiffer
but I
was
know
in
why
it,
you
so
thought
there you
that. I forget the name of the movie too.
Gotta be careful, or I'm gonna bring up the Weird Al
go. Oh God.
spinoff.
Mr. Holland's Opus. I think that would have done fantastic in black and white.
Yeah.
Well, if you can go that, you can do Dead Poet Society.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yes,
that
that's
would've
another
been
good
really
one.
That's a
good.
really good one. Jose brought up, can you imagine a black and white video game? And he specified non-indie game.
Black and white video game.
You know what's crazy? Rockstar, when they put out LA Noire for the 360 and PS3, there was, like, it actually gave you a setting. It was like, would you like to play this in black and white? And you could actually play it in black and white or color.
That's cool.
That was pretty neat.
I think you definitely need the option for something like that, though. Like, not just make you do it like that.
I would say it helps in certain parts of the game because you actually have to do detective work.
Yeah.
You got to go investigate crime scenes and talk to witnesses, and you've actually got to see if they're telling the truth in some instances. Like if you see them, their facial features change. It's
A game I reviewed a while back here on the show, Murdered. Sole Suspect.
yeah, that was the one where the detective was dead.
Yeah.
And he was a ghost.
Yeah, he's investigating his own murder.
Yeah.
A lot of that game is in black and white. And honestly, I think the game would survive just fine if the whole thing was. It was a great game, and here recently I got another game. It was free on Xbox Live, and I thought it seems interesting. I'll download it, see what it's about. It's called Gone Home. It's not a thriller game, regardless of what the music in the game sounds like, and regardless of how much it feels that way. It is an art game. It is an indie game, but it would do just fine in color as well.
Black and white?
Yeah, in black and white. Yeah.
She just whooped that kid's ass.
Good.
Yeah.
No more fighting.
Yeah. But she totally whooped his ass.
She did. She would. How are you?
I feel on the spot.
Cool.
Why?
Just asking. Just curious. Want to know how everybody's doing.
That's kind of fucking weird. You kind of creeping me out. She snorted again.
Twice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can always count on JD to make it weird.
Right?
Or get the cops called.
Well, let's try not to do that one right
Not
now.
again, JD. Okay, some other
Lawless.
time. I know you got a quota to meet, but
Lawless, I think Lawless would have done great in black and white. And since we're on movies of that specific time period, I'm going to bring up Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That's a comedy that I think would have survived
Yeah,
perfect in black and white.
I could see that.
it would have. But the other thing you got to remember about that movie is the Coen brothers actually did mess with the color.
Yeah, they muted a lot and
They
they
muted it a lot. to give it that Dust Bowl look.
Jose said, has a movie done something like only use 2 other colors besides black and white, like rose gold and blue?
Sin
Horrible
City.
colors, I know.
Sin City.
Yeah, Sin City.
Yeah.
They
Red
had
and
yellow.
yellow.
Red and yellow.
And I think they had blue at one point, too.
They might have.
I think maybe.
But it was like only
Yeah.
the black, white, and one other color in any shot, it
Yeah.
seemed like.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I think it needed to be black and white with color sometimes, because they
Mm-hmm.
fucked with the color a lot, and I liked that about the movie.
Like the one girl was called Goldie. Her hair
Yeah.
was gold. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
liked those moments where it was like that.
in the second one, Ava Green is wearing, I want to say it's blue or
Probably
something
is.
at one point.
I always forget
And
she
it
was
was
in that
beautiful.
movie.
Oh, I love her. I love her so much. Oh, she was in another movie that I think would have been great black and white. The Dreamers.
Haven't seen it.
Oh my god, I own it. It's amazing. Basically, they're in, I want to say France during the Revolution or something, but like the Revolution of like the 60s or so. There was some kind of uprising.
Oh.
And like they have an American friend that's staying with her and her twin brother.
Oh
and,
shit!
like-
No, I've seen
You
that
have
one.
seen it?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's so fucked up at the end.
It's all fucked up,
Yeah,
but you
it's
know,
pretty fucked
like there's
up.
some weird, awkward, incestuous moments of the brother and sister in the bathroom, and the brother watching the girl lose her virginity and
I'm
shit.
not really
and,
comfortable
like,
with
All right,
That's
all right,
weird.
Patty. No,
Yeah, it was
not
a really
not
fucking
some.
weird
There were some
movie.
serious, like, weird moments. There.
yeah,
It
like
wasn't
cuddling
just some.
naked together, like. It was really weird, but I think that movie would have been great black and white.
It was very French.
It was very, very.
1922. As a horror film, it's actually out on Netflix. Or
Oh, I
not a
haven't
horror,
watched
but it's
that
a
yet.
suspense.
Yeah,
It would do
it
just
keeps
fine.
popping up.
It's
I
got
keep
Thomas
on-
Jane in it.
Really?
Yeah, and he looks completely different. He's like really, really thin, and he looks really old.
I was thinking about watching Godless. It's got kind of the sepia western
Mm-hmm.
color to it. It looks good. I haven't seen any of it though.
About a town, and all the men die in a mining accident. So it's a town run by nothing but women.
Right.
And
And they act like the guys in the old westerns, but it's the women.
well, they
with,
have
like,
to.
Kind of the
Yeah.
They have to take
brutish
charge of the town.
attitude instead
Yeah.
of the feminine wiles.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh fuck yeah!
So it looks really good.
Everybody knows I'm a big Bond fan. That's not a secret at all. I think Casino Royale would have done great in black and white.
The legitimate Bond.
Yeah, the
Casino.
legitimate one, not
Not the
not
Woody
the
Allen film.
not the British spoof or the American spoof.
You like Bond? Do you like In Like Flint? Those movies?
I haven't seen it.
Our Man Flint.
Yeah, there's In Like
Yeah.
Flint and Our Man Flint, and I think there might be a third one. I don't know. They were very much Bond-ish.
Ish.
That was
Yeah,
James Coburn,
ish.
wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was
We'd
James
probably
Coburn.
like them then because we got all excited when we saw Kingsman because it was Bond-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it like the Flint movies have a very like 60s stylized, you know, the crazy.
Like, there's the movie posters and shit, and like
Yeah, it's really like the sets are really
really hokey,
Oh,
kind of
oh,
over the
God.
top.
like,
Yeah, you can tell it's the 60s. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, they were made in the 60s. So.
and Flint is like, you know, you're following him through this adventure, and you have
Oh, yeah,
no.
it's James Coburn
Yeah, it's James Coburn.
and Lee Cobb. Bunch of people I've never heard of.
Yeah, it was like the American version of James Bond.
Yeah.
Anna Lee.
But yeah, those were really good movies. So yeah, I own one of them. You can borrow it.
Okay, cool.
You
down
like
for
it?
that.
But you gotta actually watch it, not like Doctor Who.
I know. I know.
Can't be all like, you know, Edward James Olmos over there falling asleep.
Let's see here. So any movie with the time setting of the 80s or back would be good. Any movie setting outside the U.S. like 28 days later.
I think that would have survived as a black and white.
Yeah,
Probably would have done better.
could be.
The number 23.
Oh, that was such a good movie.
I think that would have been a great film in bichromatic.
That was Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like black and white with splashes of red. I think that would have been an amazing film like that.
yeah. I think that would have been good.
Yeah.
My only worry is like it being set in a more modern time period and being in black and white.
Well, that's the reason I brought up the number 23 is that is set in a modern time.
Number 23 made me think of Memento.
Mm.
I hadn't even brought that one up. I love that
Yeah.
movie.
That would have been great in black and white as well. I keep wanting to think conspiracy theory, but I think color is a huge tool in that
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. That and the brain gravy.
Yes! Oh no! I've had gravy! I don't want to dance!
So it's kind of like if you don't use the color as a tool, you could lose it.
Yeah,
If you don't use it as a tool, then it wasn't that necessary.
exactly. Catch me if you can.
I didn't
Sometimes,
see that one.
yeah, sometimes color is used as a main tool to just keep you focused on the film.
Yeah.
Just don't trust anything you watch. Just messing with you.
Well, we are out of time. I have been informed.
Oh no!
We have a sponsor to thank.
We need to thank Captain Jack's Elixirs.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. She shitted, so I shitted.
Okay, go.
Okay, Captain Jack's Elixirs at www.captainjackselixirs.com, located on 322 East Texas, Baytown, Texas,
East Texas Avenue.
77520.
Yes, you got it.
Ah!
Thank you so much to them. And if you want the Nerdery vape juice, they're the only hookup.
Yep. Also, if you enjoy this and want to keep updated or whatnot, we have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, plus a website, www.thenerdery.net.
That's right.
I was going to add in the HTTP crap, but whatever.
Yeah, that's
It's known
superfluous.
now.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, and that's about it then.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Good night.
Good night.
End credits.
Oh my god.
This will be the last word that goes out of the show.
Bye.
Yeah.